Hey, what's up guys? So today I want to talk to you about wish lists and YouTube, how they interact, and specifically how a YouTube video, namely a devlog, can impact Steam wish lists. Now, being a YouTuber and a game developer myself, I have a unique insight into this that I can share with you guys. So I'm going to open up my dashboards now and show you exactly how, when I release a devlog, those views correlate with my Steam wishlist growth. All right, so let's have a look at this, shall we? So here we have my YouTube analytics for a very specific period of time, which I've selected due to this nice peak here. Now I've selected this period of time because when you have a nice peak like this, it's much easier to make correlations between two data sets, where if the channel's in sort of like this baseline state in between videos, it can be very hard to make that connection with the data. So I've got two videos here which I've selected. One here and another one which took off at a similar time. And interestingly with this video, just to make a point, the video launched November 19th, had a big spike, and then more or less just kind of faded off. And then pretty much like, well, more than a month later, it started to pick up momentum again. So keep that in mind when you do, release videos to YouTube. It might take a bit of time before the algorithm picks it up. It's not always instant. All right, so I wanted to zoom in on this particular region here. So we're looking at December the 10th up until January the 14th. So I've added a bit of extra padding here just so we can see how the channel builds up. But more or less, it's like a 1 month cycle. Collectively, the videos had a total of 257,519 views for this period. It's pretty good. And you know, this video was like a devlog where I showcased updates I made to my player art. It's a very cool video. It's probably one of my favorite devlogs I've made so far. And you know, no coincidence that it was also probably one of my more successful ones. And then another video I put together where a friend of mine and colleague, game designer Oliver Joyce, kind of played my game. Okay, we've got two nice spikes here. So how does this correlate to my wishlist data? So let's have a look at that now. Boom. Okay, so we can see during that same period of December 10th to January 14th, I amassed 2,204 wish lists. Let me now overlay these together to show you exactly how they relate. So this here is the other two videos. So what I've done here, I've just kind of combined these two views for clarity into an average. So you can see here, I'll just turn that off. And then to overlay it with my wish lists, you can see the correlation here. It's very, very close. So as the video starts taking off, so do the wish lists. And then up and up. And then even here as the video views dip, there is also a bit of a dip in the wish lists. And then they go up. And here at our peak, we had 164 wish lists a day, for a total amount of 20,050 views. So, and then it kind of drops off and the channel goes back into a baseline state, and so do the wish lists. So 0.8% approximately, because, you know, at the time I may have had other minor videos which also had some kind of minor call to actions, you know, like YouTube cards and things like that. So another interesting feature of this dataset is that there were a few deletions during this period as well, a bit higher than usual. And you can see here, it's almost as if some people wishlisted the game and then the next day or something deleted it. And you can see here, similarly, when we have a peak in the wishlist here, then like it's delayed by about a day, we have a little spike in the deletions. So whether that's exactly what's taking place, I don't know. But I think anytime you have a data set that kind of increases in one metric, it's going to also pull up some of the other metrics as well, because that's probably the highest deletion rate I've had for a particular month period. So that kind of makes sense though to me. And of course, if you guys watching now wanted to add to this wish list total here, I would not hold it against you. In fact, I would be very appreciative. So yeah, swing by the Steam page and drop a wish list. If I was to keep that up month to month, having that same quality yield, which, you know, YouTube algorithm and all that is not so easy to do. But hypothetically, if I was able to maintain that, that's over 27,000 wish lists in a whole year. So if you were about to release a game in a year and then you started releasing these cracker devlogs one after the other month to month, you could potentially have, you know, up to 30,000 wish lists going into launch, which, you know, you'd be well and truly past that 10,000 threshold that is often indicated to get you into the new and trending. So my approximate 0.8 conversion rate for this video is not some kind of a global fixed statistic. It will vary between videos, and more importantly, it will vary between creators, where some more popular creators might have a even higher rate, and some newer creators that don't have much connection yet with their audience might have an even lower rate. So this is just my particular experience for this particular video. Now, a 0.8% conversion rate, and if you're not familiar with statistics, this might sound insignificant and small, you know, we're less than 1% after all, but you can just imagine if you had 1 million views on a devlog, you know, you'd be looking at 8,000 potential wish lists from that one video. And then you look at devloggers like Danny, for instance, who have many millions of views per each video. And then they're doing it month after month. So it's no no surprise at all that his game, Carlson, would be in the top most wishlisted games on Steam worldwide, more so than any AAA game, you know. Whether that's still the case, I don't know. I think it's kind of fallen off since then. But you know, it's a good indicator of how things can turn out. And I would like to think that the wish list you get via devlogs are sort of higher quality than some you might get at expos or something like that. This is my intuition on it. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I've got a feeling because the people who watch the YouTube videos, they're often familiar with the developer. There is some kind of connection through the previous content, as opposed to just walking past a stranger at a convention and saying, oh, I'll play my game. Okay, I'll wishlist it and then forget about it later, you know. Because quality is important, and we've often seen on Reddit where people have, you know, revealed, hey, I had so many wish lists. I had, you know, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 wish lists, but then when it came to launch my game, I made no sales. Like, what the hell happened? And people would, you know, ask them, where did you get these wish lists? You know, what's the quality of the wish list? So you can't just be collecting wish lists thinking, okay, I've got this many wish lists, it's going to convert to this many sales. That's not how it works. You know, there's so many nuanced factors that are involved. So you can't just look at one single isolated data point and expect to be able to predict whether something's going to be successful or not. So the takeaway message here is, yes, devlogs can and do have an impact on wish lists when they are quality, when they are done well. Like I mentioned, the devlog that I used here as an example is probably my favorite one. I put a lot of time and effort into it, and as a result, it also had a nice return on my investment. But, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to be running out and starting a YouTube channel and making devlogs, because you got to factor in your time and energy investment versus what you're getting out of it. You can go on some kind of social platform like TikTok or whatever and post a GIF, basically, a GIF that took you, you know, half an hour to put together, and get comparable results to what I just showed you here, where in the meantime, it took me maybe a week to make that devlog. But that's not all, right? I had to build this channel. I had to get it to a point where you guys are willing to watch my devlogs, and that was like years of investment. So when you think about it, I'm not sure, like, devlogs may be the worst. If you were measuring like energy expenditure versus output, it's very low yield. But then again, if you're willing to go through that gauntlet and take your time to build up that channel, then it can be quite valuable, as we've seen with Danny and Thin Matrix and a lot of these other very successful devloggers. So. And as for my total wish list, you're probably wondering, John, what is the total? You've only shown us like a 1 month period. Yes, that is intentional because I'm not completely sure if I'm going to go down the publisher pathway in the future. And I've been told that publishers don't like that information floating around pre-launch. Post-launch is another thing. So I don't want to shoot myself in the foot and lock myself out of these kind of opportunities. But at some point in the future, I'm definitely going to put it all out on the table and say, look, this is exactly what I did. These are how many total wish lists I got, and ultimately whether the game ends up being a success or failure. So I should probably get back to doing some more devlogs, right? Because they seem to be working. but yeah, they do take a bit of time, and that's probably why I don't do nearly as many as some of these other guys that are just kind of churning them out. Also, I kind of like making these more informative videos where I can teach you guys about stuff, even if it means that, you know, the views don't always go so well. So anyways, guys, I hope you found this video interesting. Please do drop the video a like, drop a comment, let me know if, you know, what you think about wish lists, about conversions, if you have any of your own experience in these things, and just generally kind of talk about it. I think it's an interesting discussion, and I know there's a lot of talented people watching this video in the community that would have a lot of great insight to share with the rest of the community. All right, guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found this video useful and you'd like to see more, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. If you want to support this channel further, you can do so through the Patreon. Alternatively, you can consider wishlisting my current game in development, Blood and Mead. I'd really appreciate that, guys. Links for those will be down below. See you all and take care.